I don't know when I'm gonna post this video, but I'm having another one of those sessions with Marvel thoughts. And today we are still in March. Avengers Doomsday is scheduled for December 2026. I cannot wait for that movie, and I cannot wait for that release date, but I'm having one of those crises again where I'm thinking about Marvel and I'm thinking about what we could have had and why did it end out this way and just everything that's going on and how deep we are and how different this era is from how it was 10 years ago with Captain America Civil War and leading into Avengers Infinity War, and how that part of story connected like Legos versus now, where now it feels like fan service. Last night I had a great conversation with my mom. I must have been talking to her about Marvel like a fanboy for an hour straight, and she loved everything that I said. She was like, I wish you recorded this and put this on your channel or something. That would have been great. It all started because we were looking at Thunderbolts and we were looking at The Void and we were looking at Sentry. And I already made a video about The Void last year. I was fanboying about The Void. The Void is perfect. He's perfect. His echo is perfect. His silhouette is perfect. His aura is perfect. I love everything about the Sentry and the Void. One of the coolest characters ever made. And the Void is just so much. He's just so cool. And supposedly the Sentry is supposed to be in Avengers Doomsday. And if he's in the movie, he wins. If the Sentry gets knocked out, the Void comes out. And if the Void comes out, he wins. Now, I don't know if Dr. Doom's going to purposely trigger off the Void to get them distracted and focus on him, but I'm just trying to understand, why would you have an unbalanced character like that against him? So, me and my mom had a great conversation last night, and we were just talking about Marvel and making it all connect and how it works. Does Avengers Doomsday work? And there's two answers to that. Yes, because it will make billions in the box office. But no, story-wise, does it work? No. It's not that easy. I can't just say no. It works because of the multiverse saga. It works because of Loki's series with Kang ending to that. And it works from the TVA. It works from Deadpool and Wolverine. But it don't work. So, me and my mom was talking about Thunderbolts last night and how she feel about, current Marvel characters. We had talked about all the characters that have been introduced after Marvel since COVID. And like how I said in my video when I first saw Thunderbolts, when I was talking about it, I said, I care more about these Thunderbolts than I care about every other character since Tony Stark died. And I meant that, and I still mean that to this day. Let me backtrack a little bit more. My mom does not like the new Marvel characters at all. She was being blunt. She just loves the original Avengers, which we all do. I have to say that at the start because we all love the original 6 Avengers. Everyone does. And it's not just the new characters' fault that we love the OG GOATs. The way Marvel had built up the OG Avengers and the OG characters, and they had the best actors and best cast for them, it all perfectly made sense. Now, the plot isn't that good. I'm not going to blame the actors. That's not their fault. It's just the plot and the writing isn't good. And the way Marvel is just showing them off. This is not good. But, even if they were perfect, we just got our favorites. Like, we just have our favorites. My mom don't like the Thunderbolts that much. She don't feel them. My mom don't like the Thunderbolts. My mom don't like the Eternals. And she's just not feeling them. She just loved the original. She likes the Guardians of the Galaxy. She likes Fantastic Four. She loves the X-Men, but she just don't care about these. And I don't blame her. That's not a bad. I agree. Actually, I feel the same. Yeah, I love the X-Men. I love the Fantastic Four, and I love the original Avengers. So I'm with her on that. Yeah, I agree with her. But out of everybody that has been introduced, I gotta be quite honest. I care more about U.S. Agent Ghost, Yelena, her father, Russian Captain America. I can't remember his name right now. Lesky, right? What's his name? I forgot. I can't remember his name. Red Guardian. Red Guardian. That's my guy. And they didn't even, Red Guardian hasn't been Russian Captain America. He still hasn't been him. And this is the issue with Marvel. They're not pushing their characters to be more. They're not doing the more that they should be doing. They're being nerfed. Doctor Strange has been nerfed. They've made Doctor Strange be not his full potential. And Doctor Strange is one of my favorite characters ever. And they've nerfed Red Guardian. They're not making him be him. They nerfed Sentry, even though he's crazy. They still nerfing him. So this limits with Hollywood. There's a lot of levels to this. So Hollywood is nerfing all these characters. You introduce the Void into a street level superhero movie, which is the Thunderbolts. Do not put a demon like that in it don't match. And even if the Void is in a huge multiversal movie, Hollywood still can never portray comic book characters at their full potential. So that's one layer to all of this. Does Doomsday work with that? They will be nerfed because this is a movie and every character has been nerfed before in previous Marvel movies since Ego and Guardians of the Galaxy 2, since even Hela's still been nerfed, even Thanos, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel. Somehow all these characters have been nerfed. Thor, somehow. Hulk getting nerfed, crazy. Every Dormammu and Doctor Strange, like a god, nerfed. So Hollywood budget-wise, does Doomsday work? Not really, because movies have to nerf these characters somehow. Okay, so let's get back to the new Marvel characters that I was talking about. I care more about the Thunderbolts. I actually like that movie. I think the Thunderbolts is the best movie since Endgame. I still do to this day. I like Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four was great. I like the post-credit. The post-credit almost made me cry. I like Galactus, even though Galactus... Oh, I forgot to mention him. He's being nerfed too. Galactus still wasn't even really Galactus. He kind of should have won that. No, but Susan Storm is really strong. She's great. She's amazing. The Thing is cool. Johnny, he's great. Reed, I love the Fantastic Four. I love that side of Marvel. That's perfect. I love Fantastic Four. That side of Marvel will always be one of my favorites. They're amazing. I didn't feel nothing wrong with that movie. Nothing wrong with that. Let me get back to the other characters though. I feel like the Thunderbolts are more important than the Young Avengers. I feel like the Young Avengers idea got killed before it could even start. I know the Young Avengers are in the comics. I know. And every Marvel project since Endgame was introducing a young character. And if they weren't a young character, a side character being exchanged for an Avenger and pushing them to the front to make them interesting. So, for example, we had America Chavez in Doctor Strange 2, where I still think Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness had the highest potential and was wasted and is now one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. And it's crazy because I love Doctor Strange 2 idea back in 2019. When they first introduced Doctor Strange and talked about it in 2019, I expected that movie to be perfect. And maybe that's my fault for expecting high expectations, because that movie could have been my favorite movie ever, and it still could be my favorite movie till this day right now. But it got killed because the script got reworked 4 million times. So we have America Chavez. Let me skip all past that, right? America Chavez. She exists. We have Shang-Chi. We have Ironheart from Wakanda Forever. We have Miss Marvel. I'm trying to remember everybody because I haven't watched those in a long time. I feel like Marvel after Endgame died. I'm trying to remember everybody. We have Kate from Hawkeye. So Kate is like a younger version to Hawkeye. Ironheart, younger version of Tony Stark, the GOAT, Iron Man. Shang-Chi, I must say Captain America for his humility. Sam Wilson as Captain America. That's my guy. I like Sam Wilson. I like Falcon a lot. I'm cool with him. I don't have a problem with him being Captain America. It just doesn't feel as good as Steve Rogers. Shang-Chi and Sam Wilson both give me the humility similarity. So I tie them both as Captain America replacement, even though we literally have Sam Wilson with the shield. I know. It will be cool to see two Captain Americas on screen, just like how we seen 3 Spider-Man on screen. That will be cool. But Steve is gonna hold Mjolnir. He's not even gonna need the shield. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see. Miss Marvel, well, I'll say Thor. But we obviously have Thor still. So what? We have 2 powerhouses? 3. Well, they're nerfing Hulk. Hulk has been tremendously nerfed. So we'll have, I'm still going to consider Hulk the powerhouse. He's supposed to be the powerhouse. So don't replace Thor and don't replace Hulk. We'll have the Marvels, Thor and Hulk together as a 3. And then we have like Wanda. And then we have side characters who are coming in. And then we still have like Hulk on the side. We have Loki, God of Stories, Loki as that is too powerful too. That's what I'm saying. How they gonna handle him? Loki, God of Stories, and he's like invisible. And then we have Spider-Man. What if Spider-Man gets the symbiote, Venom? What if that crossover completes and somehow Spider-Man gets the Venom? That will be a mix-up too, to bring that into the movie. And then we had the She-Hulk TV series, which is one of the worst things ever created. So that's all on the side. Then we had Eternals. So we have new stuff coming in, new paths being open from after Endgame. And if I compare Thunderbolts to every character I just named, I take Thunderbolts 1,000,000 times over. So I was telling my mom that. I was like, last night, like the story I was telling you earlier, I care more about the Thunderbolts than everybody else that I named. And I'm sorry that I feel that way, but I do. I feel like the Thunderbolts are more cool and they have me more engaged and they feel more realistic. I just felt like that. And not to be biased, Sentry is on the team, so I'm picking them regardless because he exists. So we talked about everything. Then we talked about how we all got here. What was the point in Marvel where Marvel kind of felt like it did die? It's funny because Marvel was telling a story, but it died in that story. It all happened the very second Thanos snapped in Infinity War. Now it's crazy because Infinity War is perfect. It's amazing. It's the best movie ever. It's one of the best movies you will ever see ever of all time. Infinity War told that story a part of the script that when he snaps and half of all life die, half of all life is dead forever. It's a permanent sacrifice. That's the plot. They're supposed to lose. That's the plan. They have to lose. That's the story. They are supposed to lose. The story built up for them to lose. That is supposed to happen. That being the plot triggers instability in what we have right now. When Doctor Strange said that there was 14 million future endings to the outcome that's about to happen with Thanos in Infinity War, and he says that they only win 1 out of the 14 million, I don't believe that. I don't believe that one bit. I feel like that was Hollywood's way of saying we have to make one more movie to make some more money. I think that was just a money talk. So then Infinity War ended, and then the Avengers can accept that we have another movie coming, which is Endgame. Endgame comes, and Thanos in Endgame says, you couldn't live with your own failure. So where did that bring you? Back to me. So now Thanos knows, okay, you can accept your loss. The Avengers know they can't accept their loss. They break reality. They time travel. Now, this is where it all went wrong. From them time traveling, set off new timelines, which created Loki, and then Loki interfered with the TVA, then Loki interfered with his other version of himself, and then his other variants, and then Loki interfered with Kang, which is supposed to be the master of these timelines. And this is Loki's series. This is 2 years after 2019. This is after Endgame and Tony Stark's death and all that, right? Endgame said it all, because these characters time traveled, and I know this is part of the story, but these characters time traveled, right? And by them time traveling, they set off new timelines, and then when they get back to what they think the regular timeline is after setting off all these timelines, some of them die. Tony Stark dies. Black Widow dies. Thanos dies. Captain America gets old. So all that set off the multiverse saga, right? Loki's variant kills Kang, and then Kang, all that the multiverse is now open now. Timelines is open. Timelines is flushing through everything. This is where my happiness for the multiverse built. When we first saw that this happened, and they teased Kang, and they teased multiverse saga being opened, my heart dropped. It was like the post-credit to Age of Ultron when Thanos said, fine, I'm gonna do it myself. The same mood of that. But this is multiverse. This is supposed to be global. This is supposed to be bigger. This is supposed to be everything. So I got excited with that. I was like, okay, I'm feeling this. You got me hooked again. I like this feeling. That was 4 or 5 years ago? That was Loki's show. That was a while ago, but everything else just slacked, man, and it just killed it. It's crazy. So then we have Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool is from the X-Men side of Marvel. Deadpool steps into the Avengers side of Marvel. And now Deadpool is here through the TVA. So now we have all these pathways coming through. Deadpool is now in the MCU. Deadpool watches the Avengers on the TVA TV. He sees Thor. We have that little section right there. But now these are integrated into each other. And I'm just thinking, okay, we introduced the X-Men through. All right, how are we going to get Doctor Doom through? How do we get Doctor Doom? Now, obviously, the trailer hasn't came out yet, and we're waiting on the trailer. Obviously, we'll get it through the trailer. But my question is, why didn't we have a bit of information on how he possibly could have gone through in previous post-credits, in previous movies, in previous scenes, in previous dialogue? This whole thing feels like just fan service versus Infinity War. See, we could tell Thanos was coming. Infinity Stones. If you followed the comics, you could tell, oh shoot, Thanos was coming. Thanos was mentioned in the first Avengers, post-credit, the Infinity Stones, Guardians of the Galaxy. Then we had Age of Ultron. Then they paused it, right? Thanos was paused, right? Then we had, after Age of Ultron, we get Doctor Strange. Then we get Civil War. It's kind of making you forget about Thanos. Wait, we just had a Thanos post-credit scene. But now you're focused on Iron Man versus Captain America, Black Panther being introduced. Then you get Thor Ragnarok's post-credit scene. Thor Ragnarok, you see Thanos' ship. Then we get Winter Soldier's post-credit scene in Black Panther. Okay, so Winter Soldier, Black Panther, Thor is going to be in Avengers Infinity War, and Thanos is coming. Thanos is here. So when that Infinity War trailer dropped, we see the purple guy. Okay, Thanos is here. Because we had information leading up. Yeah, we know Thanos is going to be the next big bad wolf. But what's the layout for Doctor Doom? What, your excuse is just the multiverse? I get that. But make it add up. Like, we saw the post-credit scene in Thunderbolts setting up Fantastic Four, but there hasn't been a clear expectation. They want you to use the plots of the TVA as just, and Kang's death and Loki as just, okay, timelines is open. Anyone could just walk through any moment. Yeah, Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. But like, that's not enough. To just drop the GOAT at like Doctor Doom out of nowhere feels more just like we're just trying to make some money in the box office versus telling the actual story that led up into Doctor Doom crossing over from the Fantastic Four. But how do we get Doctor Doom into this timeline? And I know obviously they'll explain it in the trailer, but I do remember seeing a piece of the little leaked trailer, if that was the real trailer, because I didn't want to see that. I didn't want to be spoiled. I purposely didn't want to see that. And I hate when people try to mess it up for everybody and just do dumb things. Like, why are you posting a leaked trailer on social media? Just wait for the stuff to really come out. Just wait. Just be patient. What I accidentally did see was like 4 seconds. And I saw Dr. Doom speaking with Steve Rogers. Dr. Doom ended up in the 1940s and knocked on Steve Rogers' door. And then Steve opened up and he sees Robert's face, Robert Downey Jr. Now he's thinking that that's Tony Stark because that's his face. But his face is surprised because he's seeing that he's wearing all green. And he's like, aren't you dead? And what is this? What is this whole era? What is this whole persona that you have? So I want to see how Marvel explains how Fantastic Four universe, Doctor Doom, crosses over. Because just like in Spider-Man No Way Home, see, Spider-Man No Way Home makes sense because that's all Avengers universe, right? Doctor Strange, the spell that all went wrong, and that brought in people who knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man to this universe. But how does Doctor Doom step into this universe? And then how does Fantastic Four step into this universe? They'll show that. And how does it all balance? At first, I said they should not have announced Robert playing Doctor Doom. What they should have done was drop the full Avengers Doomsday trailer out of nowhere on a random Tuesday morning and catch the entire world off guard. I said that at first. That would have been perfect too. But that still does the same thing as fan service because he's just out of nowhere. There was never a story in the first place building up Doctor Doom. We should have got hints of dialogue, hints of Doctor Doom's silhouette for the past like 4 or 5 years. We should have got hints, just like how we got hints that Thanos was coming. We should have had hints that there's a guy with a green hoodie like in the crowd or something coming out of nowhere. We should have got hints that there's some new creature who's intelligent, who's working on this new thing. So we could tell, oh, is that Doctor Doom or that they're hinting? So then we have these fan theories like, oh, wait, who is this next bad guy coming? And then out of nowhere on a random Tuesday, Wednesday morning, Avengers Doomsday trailer, you see Doctor Doom on the thumbnail. And then you see Robert playing as him. That would have been crazy. It's because Doctor Doom was never the plan in the first place. It was always supposed to be Kang the Conqueror. It was always supposed to be him. They canceled the 5th Avengers movie and redid it. So every point that I'm making in this video, I'm contradicting my own self. That's why I said it was a great conversation that I had with my mom last night. Because every point that I made, I backtracked. I was like, wait. It's because of this. Or it's because of this. They'll explain this. Or this hasn't been explained yet. Or it's just because they want money or fan service. They'll find a way to make it work. But I'm kind of mad at the way it's happening. Because it feels like fan service. It's not connecting. See, Marvel from Iron Man to Endgame connected. Now, I know that there was lots and lots of movies that has been canceled. Like, we were supposed to get a lot of projects between 2013 to 2019. We were supposed to get a lot of movies and a lot of series that got canceled. I understand that. Okay, remember, Hollywood and making movies is a job. It's not a fun thing all the time. It's a business deal thing. So when something doesn't work or something has to get changed or they'll make something to fit fan service, deals and agreements have to be made and cut. Now listen to what I just said. Fan service and deals and businesses, things that can make money. So that's applying here now. After the situation with Jonathan Majors and him being fired as Kang, they destroy him in Ant-Man Quantumania. They destroy a goated villain and just obliterate him. That's like getting the Sentry to lose to like a bunch of Street Fighters. That doesn't make sense. So they destroy Kang, kill him, massacre him, embarrass him. Cause that was embarrassing. And that was a mess. I was like, what are you doing? How would you? He does not lose that fight at all. He doesn't. But they made him for that movie, because they wanted to get rid of him. They're like, all right, he's in their head. They're like, all right, we can't use him for money no more. we just got to fit another big bad wolf in. Just get rid of him. So Jonathan's Major's situation in real life throws him off, and then now we need a new big bad wolf. Let's put in somebody who the fans worship. And guess what they get? They get the GOAT. They get the GOAT, Doctor Doom. Now, we never had a great Doctor Doom adaptation on TV yet. Let me rephrase myself. We never had a perfect Doctor Doom adaptation. We've had great Doctor Doom adaptations in the cartoons, and the Fantastic Four with Jessica Alba in the early 2000s. That's the early 2000s. That's around X-Men 1, X-Men 2, Blade, Daredevil with Ben Affleck. That era of life, right, was completely different, right? That was when Michael Jackson wanted to buy Marvel. That was when Marvel wanted to get Tom Cruise as Tony Stark. That era of life in Hollywood, different celebrities, that was different. They first are adapting comic book characters on TV. That's a whole different world right there. So getting Doctor Doom, right, a GOAT, a legend on TV is interesting. He shows up again in part 2 with Galactus, and they make Galactus like this storm. He's like the storm weather. He's not the physical body form. I actually like the Storm adaptation. It makes him feel like he's a force of God. But no, he's different. All right. Silver Surfer's in that movie, and Doctor Doom shows up a little bit. Then we have the other Fantastic Four that does not really exist with Michael B. Jordan as Johnny. Miles Teller. That's my guy. And then now we have this Doctor Doom. The only physical Doctor Doom media that we have right now in cinema is the post-credit scene of Fantastic Four, and we don't even see his face. We just see his hoodie, and we see him holding his mask. Now, that right there is perfect. Like, you don't understand. I told you, Doctor Doom is the GOAT, so seeing that is perfect. That's only like 10 seconds of his face, and that's already perfect. I mean, not his face. That's only 10 seconds of him, and that's perfect. So I can't wait to see this whole movie of him. Like, regardless of what, this movie will make billions. But does it work? Does Avengers Doomsday work? Because I'm naming everything, right? First of all, I named budget-wise. Does it budgetly work? Will it budgetly show his power? The Void's power? All these characters' power? No. Some characters are going to be thrown off. They had to do that with Endgame. They had to take Doctor Strange out of the fight of Endgame because he would have won. They had to nerf Captain Marvel. They had to nerf Thor. They had to calm it all down to make it work, to make certain scenes work. Every villain before. Earlier, I named Dormammu. I named Hela. I named Ego. They have to nerf these characters to control it. They have to. It's too much going on. So budgetly, does it work? And then I named the characters. It's a lot going on with them. After Endgame, we had a bunch of TV series. And the TV shows from Marvel just don't hit for me. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm more of a movie guy. We have TV series for certain stories that is not in Marvel. For other TV shows in Hollywood, those work. But for Marvel, I just feel like it just doesn't work. I feel like everything just should be a movie, especially with like the CGI and the visual effects. It's just also Marvel just has not been looking good with the visual effects. I'm just going to be a little honest. Now, there are moments from Endgame that looks not that good. Like, there are a lot of CGI moments from Endgame that I don't like. But my point is just like, I feel like ever since Endgame, the CGI has also been dying too. Like, Spider-Man No Way Home is an amazing movie, but the visual effects in that movie is terrible. It's horrible. It's ugly. You could tell that it's green screen. You could tell that it's CGI. It's a good movie. The visual effects are not helping, but the good movie saves it, right? And another reason why I like Thunderbolts is I feel like the Thunderbolts CGI looked great. The Void looks beautiful. The scene in the city when the Void pops out and the concrete is falling everywhere, that looks good. But other movies just look terrible. Shang-Chi doesn't have that great CGI. Eternals is a beautiful looking movie, but not a good movie though. Fantastic Four CGI wasn't. It didn't bother me watching Fantastic Four. It didn't bother me. Wakanda Forever looked ugly. Deadpool Wolverine, it was okay. It was okay. Black Widows looked terrible. So, and then the TV shows looked horrible, and Quantumanias looked horrible. So, there's certain CGI that is not looking good, okay? Compared to other movies from 10 years ago, right? How does Marvel from 2015, 2016, 2017 look infinitely better than now? How does older technology then look better than technology now? They were moving fast, and they kicked Kang out the door, and that they needed a new big bad wolf because of they want to make their money and because of the scandal, and they cannot attach their name to somebody who has a scandal because that'll mess with their business and mess with their product. See, these are business deals. The way everything is arranged is as business deals. Let's keep making money, and let's keep this job going and going and going. So 10 years ago, 11 years ago, we had movie projects get canceled, but it's still all connected. It just feels like Marvel's all over the place right now. And Marvel is just doing too much right now. And it's losing people. It's throwing people off. A lot of people are saying that Marvel is dead, including me. And a lot of people is just not satisfied. It's just a up moment, then a down moment, then an okay moment for the majority of the time. And it's just bland. Unlike before Endgame, all those movies before Avengers Endgame, it was a consistent rate of, okay, even if the movie is not your favorite, even if you hate the movie then, it still had a better feeling. It felt complete still. Compared to now, it really feels like slop. It feels like fast food, brain dead slop. A lot of movies feel like that, even besides Marvel. I feel like Hollywood is just dying, period. And Hollywood wants to just use Disney for some money because Disney can make some money. And Disney want to use fan service for making money. So the great business deal was, let's get Dr. Doom. Now, the best decision they made was, let's get Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. So how does it work? Does it work? Well, then Dr. Doom, Doomsday kills everything that has happened entirely before just to make some money. Avengers Doomsday will make money, but this movie erases everything. We still are living in the truth because Doomsday didn't come out yet. But when that movie releases, it kills everything. It reworks everything. It just doesn't make sense anymore. It is done. Because first of all, you recast a new villain. Then you get Robert as the villain. And then you announce that Robert is playing Dr. Doom. So now it really feels like you're fulfilling fan service versus plot. You bring back Captain America after that beautiful conclusion you gave him. It feels more like you want the hype and the laughs and the money spending tickets versus telling a good story like Thanos did. It feels more like, okay, we want to get people in the theaters and we want to beat what Endgame did versus let's tell a good story and let's get everybody amped like Infinity War and like a Civil War. It don't feel like that anymore. Casting Robert as Dr. Doom makes sense in multiple ways because remember, the multiverse is open. So what that will mean is that Robert is Dr. Doom in an alternate reality, right? And that means that he came into this reality. So again, we got to see in that trailer. How does Dr. Doom cross over into the Avengers universe? And how does the Fantastic Four follow? And all that. Because we have the Avengers Marvel universe. Then we have the X-Men, right? We have X-Men. We have Deadpool. We have the Young X-Men, which is a part of all the same timeline with the entire X-Men universe. It's just from the 1960s to the 1970s to the 1980s to the 1990s to then to 2000s. And then we have the 2010s. Deadpool is 2010s. The older X-Men is the 2000s. Days of the Future Past is in the early 2020s. It's crazy because Days of the Future Past and Avengers Endgame take place around the exact same time, but are two different timelines of Marvel. And then X-Men Apocalypse is the 1980s. Days of Future Past, when they time travel, is the 1970s. And then First Class with Kevin Bacon, that's the 1960s. And that's all the same timeline. That's all the same universe of the X-Men. That's just different years. We have Toby's Spider-Man. That's his own timeline in Marvel. Andrew's Spider-Man. That's his own timeline in Marvel. Then we have Fantastic Four's timeline. Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, Galactus, Doctor Doom. All of that. That's that timeline. And then we have the Blade, right? And then we have Avengers is Marvel. Avengers is timeline. I guess we'll see how it all crosses over into Marvel. And now it's not about the plot. I just named the plot. I just named it works because of the multiverse. But does it work? Because the tactics that they're using to make these movies feel like fan service versus telling an intricate story. Because all the movies are all over the place. And then they announce Robert as Doctor Doom because we know we love Tony Stark and we love Robert as Iron Man and we love Robert and we love his work. And we know that he's a big box office star. So getting his name attached to things will make money, right? It works because the multiverse exists. And the multiverse is kind of being it's like a bluff. Like, okay, multiverse exists, so we could just make anything work now, basically, right? And that's when Secret Wars come in. Secret Wars is supposed to be next year. See, they can use the multiverse tactic to just pull random stunts. All right, well, Kang was never the biggest problem anyway. We have the multiverse, so we can just get someone else to do what he could have done. So it feels like they're just using that as a punching bag and like, okay, just fall onto this. If something goes wrong, just blame it on multiverse and just switch it up. Like, that's how it feels like with everything, you know? It just, now in my head, I'm overwhelmed now. I'm still hyped for Avengers Doomsday and I can't wait, but I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with all these characters. I'm overwhelmed with all of this because it was already hard to balance all the characters in Infinity War. And that's just Thanos, right? How are we going to balance 50 characters? Am I? All right. There's like 15 to 20 X-Men characters if they bring in all that. I mean, from the footage that we saw, we see Charles Xavier, we see Magneto, the Goats, we see Cyclops, but we know Storm is going to show up, and we know Wolverine has to show up. We know Deadpool has to show up. All right, so let me name everybody from the X-Men universe. All right, we got Jean, Magneto, Professor X, Wolverine, Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Storm. All right, we have those goats. I love the X-Men. The X-Men are great. They're like my favorite. They're like one of my favorite sides of Marvel too. Again, I love them. They're amazing. I love X-Men. It's so nostalgic. Everything. It's just, I love that. So I want to see this. And X-Men is just great. I love a lot of, I just love it. So how are you going to articulate them? Okay. All right. We see that there's trailers on them. All right. Bringing them in. Okay. Now we have Black Panthers because Black Panther can make an army. So then we see the Black Panther. And then we see Namor. All right. They bring armies already. And then we have Fantastic Four's side of Marvel, right? We have the entire Fantastic Four, right? Reed Richards, Susan, right? Johnny, and then the Thing, Ben. And then we have the main Avengers timeline. We have the GOATs. We have the OG Avengers, the GOATs. That will never be topped. And then we have the new characters from these new projects that has been introduced since 2019. So we have Shang-Chi, who has to be in this. We have the Captain Marvels that have to be in this. We have the Thunderbolts that has to be in this. We have the young kids. We have all these new characters coming in, right? That has to be brought into this somehow. We have Wanda. We have all of this. Even though Spider-Man been here, but he has to be in this too. It's a lot. It's going to be a lot of characters. It's going to be a lot. Because the budget is supposed to be hundreds of millions. But how the hell are you going to balance all these characters within less than 4 hours of screen time? This is why I say Avengers Doomsday should be 5 hours. I said it. I said it already. I said it last year in one of my old videos. I said it. Avengers Doomsday needs to be 5 hours, maybe even 6, with how many characters it is. And I'm not joking, not just because I love Marvel and I want to see a long Marvel movie, but it has to make it make sense. Fill in the plot points, fill in the open circles that need to be closed, fill in all the confusion. Then you bring in characters, you give them all arcs, and you make them all connect like a team. And then you make them go against Doctor Doom, right? Doctor Doom needs 3 hours of screen time. And then the rest of the other characters need 3 hours of screen time together. And we make it work. And then that leads into Secret Wars. And then y'all just have to figure that out then. It's already overwhelming right now with Doomsday. So imagine Secret Wars with 2 universes. That's going to be too much. This is already overwhelming me right now. And I know I say I can't wait for this movie, but I'm overwhelmed because certain characters just might not get screen time at all. In Infinity War, Captain America didn't get that much screen time. They have to rebalance it in every movie, right? Captain America got a lot of screen time in Endgame, made it personal. They gave Tony screen time. They gave Hawkeye screen time. They gave Thanos way less screen time. Thanos just felt less complete. Thanos felt more of a character in Infinity War. Thanos felt more of a just, I'm the bad guy in an Endgame. And that's kind of why I had mixed feelings about Endgame, because Endgame just didn't hit as hard as Infinity War did. But Endgame was like, I'm just bad, I'm just villain. Versus Infinity War, he just had a plot. See, they had to rework Thanos too. And Thanos had way less screen time. But it worked. All right, whatever, it worked. But in Infinity War, they had to balance the 25 characters. And Steve Rogers suffered. He didn't get that much screen time in Infinity War. Now, he's goated as hell in Infinity War. I like that era of Captain America. He's amazing right there. But we didn't have that much footage of him. We didn't even have that much footage of Tony Stark. We kind of have more footage of Thor, felt like, in ways. Thor felt more in Infinity War. And then, of course, Age of Ultron, we had less of Thor, a decent amount of Hulk, more of Tony, more of Cap. And then in Avengers Part 1, it balanced the 6 of them. And then Nick Fury. And, but Doomsday is getting overwhelming. Doomsday is getting very, very overwhelming already. It's getting a lot. I don't know how they're going to do it. And then my question is, again, making it work. All right. If Doctor Doom went to see Captain America when he returned the stones and he stayed in the 1940s, how the hell did Doctor Doom end up in the 1940s and then gets brought to the timeline of the future with the old X-Men and the current Avengers, which is the 21st century? How does that all work? We would just have to see. How is Doctor Doom time traveling and universe traveling? I don't know. Obviously, we don't have any trailers of it yet. It's just, I'm thinking about, it's messy. It's very, very messy. It's messy plot-wise. It's messy budget-wise. It's messy with just thinking about how everything added up before. I'm not really sure. Then you have to find a way to make the plot make sense. You have all these powerful characters. You're just going to keep nerfing them? And then you're just going to keep using the multiverse as a bluff? Just blame it on the multiverse. Y'all are killing the multiverse concept. The multiverse was supposed to be perfection. Beautiful, godly. It was supposed to be amazing. It was supposed to be out of our understanding. The topic of the multiverse is there's more than we will ever consume and understand. There's so much beyond that we will never grasp. And there's so much. It's so vast. It's terrifying. Y'all are not making the multiverse terrifying. Y'all are making it boring and like, this is annoying now. I hate that reaction because the multiverse concept is amazing. It's perfect. But y'all messed it up with these movies and these projects. Y'all made the worst movies with the best plot that you could have had. How? So now everyone's sick of it. And now you have the best plot you could ever have to make one of the biggest movies ever The reason it's going to be big is because of the cast. It's not going to be big because of the plot. I kept saying to my mom, and not asking her questions for her to answer it, but more like hypothetical questions. And I just kept repeating it like every 10 minutes. How does it work? How does this work? How does Robert being Doctor Doom work? How does Steve Rogers seeing Tony Stark's face, Robert's face, and then seeing Doctor Doom, how does that work? But I'm forgetting about the multiverse bluff of just using that as another variant. Tony Stark wasn't always Doctor Doom. Another variant of Robert is Doctor Doom from another timeline who happens to meet Steve Rogers. And I remember the multiverse. I do. I remember the multiverse. It's just that certain things I forget because it wasn't done in the way I expected it to be done. I hope you understand what I mean. So when I say that there's problems and plot holes all around this whole thing, it's making me forget the way all these decisions is being added up to create this art. Unlike before with Infinity War. I love the multiverse. I love it. But I just don't like the way they just did it. It makes these movies lackluster and it's making people not like what could have been a beautiful plot. It's wasted potential. I blame Disney, I blame Hollywood for the past 7 years since Endgame because it's wasted potential because these plots could have been amazing. Every movie since Endgame should have been amazing because the multiverse concept is perfect. I love the multiverse concept. It's one of my most favorite concepts ever. Matter of fact, it probably is because that means that everything is possible. Every good thing is possible. Every crazy thing is possible. It makes it perfect, but it just got wasted because of the lackluster films and TV shows. And then it just hurts me because now everything now just feels like fan service. Everything feels like fan service now. And it's just like, damn, you just killed my whole anticipation because now it's not like plot wise. Now it's just we're watching CGI and we're about to just have a great fast food time. But I'm not saying that to down this movie. Hell no. I'm about to be in that theater going crazy. I want to see this and I'm going to enjoy it. But I just know it's going to be like, what is this? Like, it's just out of nowhere. It's not really authentically it. It didn't add up like how the Lego blocks added up for Infinity War. The Lego blocks is not adding up right now. They're not. They're all over the place. It's like Play-Doh. It's falling. It's wet. It's slushy. It's like a sand castle. It's breaking apart. It's breaking apart. And this is what I was saying to my mom last night. I was contradicting my own points. It's not that Doctor Doom was always Tony Stark, but it's more so Doctor Doom reason for being in this movie is from the multiverse, and they just wanted to use Robert because he brings money in. They just have to find a way to redo the plot. And that new plot kills everything that has happened all the way to Iron Man 1 in 2008. It's just being redone now because they want to break these box office records. I want to see if Iron Man will be in this movie. Even if it's not Tony Stark, just Iron Man, the Iron Man suit. Will he be flying around? Will it have dialogue? Who will play him? And even if we see Tony Stark's face, is it going to be Robert variant? Or will it be like Tom Cruise? Because Tom Cruise was supposed to originally play him. If they give Tom Cruise the beard and the facial hair, he could pull off Tony Stark. He could pull it off, even though Robert looks more identical to Tony Stark in the comics. Just like Benedict looked just like Doctor Strange in the comics. That could be pulled off. We'll have to see what they do with that. You could blame COVID. A lot of me blames COVID. Man, that thing, COVID, really just destroyed a lot of things, man. It's not the same as it used to be. Let's take it that far. Let's get deeper. Because of the multiverse existing, and we're going to use the multiverse as a plot behind all of this, then Iron Man needs to be in Doomsday. Iron Man has to be in Doomsday. Tony Stark needs to be in Doomsday. It has to work. Just because Robert has been casted as Doctor Doom, you're not gonna put Tony Stark in Avengers Doomsday? That doesn't even make sense. They should have someone else play Iron Man then. But y'all know the theater might not like that. Y'all know they might not like that then. Like what was originally planned in the early 2000s, I still would love to see only Tom Cruise play Iron Man if it's not Robert Downey Jr. If it's not Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man, then I would like to see Tom Cruise. I don't want to see nobody else. Tony Stark and / or Iron Man needs to be in Doomsday. What I mean when I say and / or is if Iron Man takes off his helmet and you see Tony Stark's face, who will be playing him? Or if Tony doesn't take off his helmet and you just see the Iron Man suit, that should be in the movie too. But that will just be CGI because of the suit. But even if the person reveals their face, who will be playing Tony Stark under the suit? He should be in the movie if you're bringing back Steve Rogers. When Multiverse of Madness was in the midst of being released, I saw multiple fan art of Tom Cruise with the beard and the facial hair of Tony Stark, and I think he could pull it off. They photoshopped Tom Cruise in the Iron Man suit and with the beard and Robert's hair, and I think he could pull it off. Even there are certain movies with Tom Cruise in the early 2000s where I think his face could pull it off. They just need to give him the beard, but that's obviously when Tom Cruise is younger. Look, Marvel wants to do everything for everyone else. Why can't they just do this for me? I feel like they should have casted Robert back as Tony Stark, and they should have got, like, I don't know, man. In my opinion, I keep saying this, but Michael, who played Magneto, I feel like he could have played Doctor Doom. Or, of course, they say Cillian Murphy. Personal opinion, nobody's going to agree with me on this, but I personally think Anson Mount, that was in Nonstop, the look that he had in Nonstop back in 2014 with Liam Neeson, I feel like he could have even pulled off Doctor Doom. And speaking of Anson Mount, he actually played Black Bolt. I keep forgetting that he played him in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I keep forgetting that movie exists because it was such wasted potential. But I think even he could have pulled it off. He has the face for it, especially in Nonstop. And Nonstop, his haircut, that's just my personal opinion. I feel like, I don't know. But I always say Michael Fassbender, Cillian Murphy, or Anson Mount from Nonstop look in 2014. I feel like he could have pulled it off. That's just always my opinion for who could play Doctor Doom. And just bring back Robert for Iron Man. He's gonna do good as Iron Man. We love Iron Man. That's our favorite character ever. Now, I know Robert would do great as Doctor Doom. I know he's not the problem. He will do amazing as Doctor Doom. I don't even need to see the movie and I know he's gonna do perfect. It's the plot of it. Does it work? That's why I keep saying that throughout the whole video. Does it really work? Because it's a yes and a no. It works because of the multiverse, but it don't work because of the plot and the way we got here. It was a very, very, very extremely rocky, messy road to get here. And at the end of the day, by them releasing Doctor Doom at the Comic-Con and showing that was Robert as casted as him and keep talking about Robert, it's fan service. It's not plot like Thanos' plot. See, we understand Thanos because of the post-credits from the Avengers and an Age of Ultron, and then the post-credit to Thor Ragnarok. See, the post-credit to Thor Ragnarok was Thanos is here. Okay, he's coming. And then the next movie after that was Black Panther. All right, we just have a fun Black Panther movie to explain what he did after Civil War. All right, great movie, made money. All right. And then the post-credit to Black Panther was Bucky getting a new arm. Okay. All right. So we know that Thor is going to be in Avengers Infinity War. Black Panther is going to be in Avengers Infinity War. Winter Soldier, Bucky is going to be Avengers Infinity War. Thanos is coming. And then we get the Avengers Infinity War trailer. See, it all adds up. And that movie made $2 billion. It didn't need to do too much, but it worked perfectly. And that's why Infinity War is the highest stake ever. But this, though, I don't know, man. I don't know. This feels more like fan service to me. And I keep repeating myself. But this is how long the conversation was last night. See, I'm sorry, but this is the conversation that we had with my mom last night. I was talking her ear off, and she said she loved it. To be honest, I shortened it. With her, it was like an hour and 20 minutes just talking about Marvel and everything. You know, how do we make Doctor Doom work? How do we make all of this work? Obviously, it's through the multiverse, but you can't just rely on that. You have to tell a good plot and a good story. And I know we haven't gotten a trailer yet, but it feels like it's just out of nowhere. And it feels like fan service thing. That's my plot. That's my point. So I think that's all I wanted to say. I talked about how I felt with the new Avengers. I talked about how I felt with all the characters and how I feel with the visual effects of Marvel. I feel like visually, Marvel has not been looking too good. Visual budget, CGI. I just feel like Marvel's just been losing its way. I just feel like Disney has just been milking it just to make money. And it's been working. Marvel has been becoming fast food type entertainment versus how it was 10 years ago, right? Now it's fast food entertainment just to get money in the box office. And I don't want a fifth Avengers movie to be that way. I don't want that. I don't want a fifth Avengers movie to be fast food, brain dead movie, right? Actors and just fast food entertainment. No, it's supposed to be an intricate story and great plot, and everything just ties in perfectly. Like, but I'm not doubting it. I'm not doubting it because it's the twins. The Russo brothers are amazing. Every Marvel movie that they've directed has been perfect. So the Russo, I know they will do good, right? And I know it's hard, and it's stressing me out, and I'm not even a movie director. It's stressing me out, and I'm not even a movie director. So I understand when these people be overwhelmed. That's why Joss didn't do Infinity War. He was like, no, I'm done. I can't do any more of Avengers. It was stressing him out. The studio wanted him to do it his way. Too many characters, and he had a time limit. See, the Russo brothers is twins. So you can have one mind focus on the villain, and then you can have the other mind focus on all these other characters, and then you put it together. And then everybody puts in their 2 cents. See, it's good when two minds come together. That's great. But one, like, imagine handing me the script and saying, yo, direct Avengers Doomsday, Gary. Direct this movie right now. And you have 2 years to set this movie up. Do you know I might drop down from anxiety? Like, I can't do that. I will have to focus on each character one at a time and put it all together. So I understand the stress that Joss went through with. He was like, no, I can't do Avengers Infinity War. They gave it to the twins, which was perfect. It was perfect. It was perfect. All right, the Russo brothers did Winter Soldier, amazing. He did Civil War, perfect. Infinity War, perfect. And then he did Endgame, great, perfect. So I know Doomsday is going to be good. When I heard that they were back, I was like, oh, yeah. They said that they were back 2 years ago. Back in 2024, they said, yeah, the Russo brothers are going to be back for future Avengers. So, yes. And to be honest, they should be back for Secret Wars. Matter of fact, you know how Avengers Infinity War felt like 10 different movies coming together in one? They should do that with Secret Wars. They should make multiple directors do Secret Wars. They should make 4 directors do Secret Wars, actually. 4 to 5 directors should come together and do Secret Wars. That movie should be 6 hours. I'm just going to be real. And there should be a bathroom break in the middle. See, the movie theaters should do a pause. Let's pause the movie for a second, right? Moment. You could refill your snacks. You could go take a bathroom break for Secret Wars. Because if Avengers Secret Wars is not 6 hours, then I don't know what the hell they're doing. Because that's too much going on. There needs to be 5 directors on that movie, and there needs to be bathroom breaks in the movie theaters. There should be like a law, like hey, there's a 10-minute bathroom break. Go do what you got to do. Matter of fact, not even 10 minutes. That theaters are going to be packed. Like a 30-minute bathroom break. Go refill your snacks, go chill, go stretch, and then come back and the rest of the Avengers will play. It should be like that for every 2.5 hours. For real though. Yeah, for real. It should be like that. Yeah. What else do I have to say? I think I named everything. I can't wait for Doomsday, but it just feels more fan service than plot. And I love Doctor Doom. And it's crazy because they're using the actors that I love and they're using the characters that I love to fill in plot inconveniences that is messing with their money. So I think that's everything that I said. I think so. If you watched and listened to me rant for like an hour straight, I appreciate you. I really do. Thank you. I'm gonna try to edit this and cut some stuff out that didn't make sense. But everything else, I'm gonna keep up. I can't remember everything that I said. I should have recorded my conversation that I had with my mom. This was all the conversation last night. I should have recorded this, recorded that. I should have just started talking and put the phone down and record, because she was asking genuine questions and she was like, I want to see where your mind is. And I woke up this morning at like 10 a.m. and I was just thinking to myself, I was like, wait, Marvel was on my mind. I was like, Marvel, we gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about this. It's March still. Well, I don't know when I'm gonna record this. I don't know when I'm gonna edit this. Because I didn't show my face, so I might have to like get some like gameplay and like play that and like play this. But it's it's March, and we have a while to go, and I just want to see how they handle this. With that all being said, again, just I love these Marvel conversations, because in actuality, Hollywood is a job. Hollywood is a business. These companies are making business and making money in business deals. So regardless of what it does for us, I know it's entertainment, but it's all a business deal. So they have to make certain decisions that will make the job work, no matter how we feel about it, which is the sad thing and the sad, unfortunate thing about it. So I have faith in the Russo brothers. I just have my wonders and my opinions and my thoughts. But I don't know. I don't have faith in Disney. I don't know how they're going to make this work, but we'll see. And I know the actors will do great. I just want to see how it unfolds. But the day Doomsday drops, it changes everything.